Hi. Hello. How's it going? Welcome to what I believe this channel is just gonna devolve into after the whole update video, and that is going to be MLP based like reactions whenever I get time, and me sitting down and just talking about my life and documenting it. This video is not really for you guys in particular. I guess you could say this video is for me and the future me that's gonna be listening to this, just because, you know, one, I'm a pretty damn big narcissist. I think that's why me and Trixie get along so well. I like hearing the sound of my own voice talking about my problems and basically venting frustrations and stuff like that. And I just love hearing the sound of my own voice, apparently. So yeah, this is what this video is. If you read the title, and I'm pretty sure most of you actually do that instead of just randomly clicking on a video, I quit my job. And at this point of what you're watching, I don't know when exactly I'm gonna upload this, whether it be immediately or after everything's said and done. But yeah, the Kura Sushi restaurant that I've been working at for 3 years, approximately 3 years at this point, like 3 years, maybe a few days or a month or so. I finally quit. At first, I was waiting for this day as a huge cathartic, okay, now I have more time to make videos, but at this point, with the added time that I have, I'm actually just going to use it to go to Death Battle more, so that still hasn't changed. But basically, this was a pure, like, therapeutic type of thing for me. Like, okay, how do I basically start this? Just want to let you know, this is going to be completely off the cuff. I'm going to talk for as long as I goddamn will, and also I don't care about YouTube monetization. It's suited for advertising. I don't give a shit. This is just gonna be me shooting the shit, talking. I don't care what kind of language I use. I'm gonna use my default language that I use when I talk to my friends, and that means I'm just gonna talk. So little kiddies and people who are not good with that, you can click off the video. It's fine. This is mainly for me to listen to be happy about something for once, because this is because some happy stuff been happening. Some happy stuff been happening to me in my life, and I want this to be one of those happy things. A thing that I've been waiting for at least half a year, at the very least a year or a half a year from now, because shit just went south at a certain point when I was at that restaurant. So first things first. Kura Sushi is a damn good restaurant. If you ever find a Kura Sushi area, go there and have yourself a damn good time, because the aesthetic is great. The conveyor belt sushi system is just one of my favorite types of systems for sushi. And all around, Kura Sushi is one of the best places. There's a reason why people give it 4.4, 4.5, 5 stars on Yelp and stuff like that. It's a great place. Everything I'm about to say here has nothing to do with the food, has nothing to do with anything more than just my own mental stability and how it broke finally on this day. So yeah, anything I'm about to say about Kura Sushi has nothing to do with the overall restaurant itself. It's just my personal experience and how my life basically shaped how hard it was to keep this job for as long as I did. I have quit puzzles easier than what I did at Kura Sushi. I've quit puzzles, and yet I stayed. I don't know why. So, best ways to start this is to start from the beginning. And if you're gonna stick around for this little deal, I commend you, first of all. And second of all, this is probably gonna be a long one. So if you're going on a walk, you need like a podcast or something like that, put this on in the background. You're working on like an animation or something like that. Hey, more power to you. But just know, I'm just gonna talk. I'm probably gonna like probably drift off into another topic, maybe. But I'm gonna try to make sure if I drift off to another topic, it pertains to what is going on in the job in the best way possible. And plus, also, huge warning. I might put it in a warning in the title for those of you guys who actually do like hearing my voice, like hearing my problems, like that sort of thing. Give me your support that way, just knowing that you're there for me. Huge warning, second warning, third warning, whatever. I might get personal. I might get very personal here. I might tell you some things that are in my personal life and what ultimately affects during the job. I just need to get this out of my system, because while I do like to talk to myself, I think I mentioned this in my update video, how I just talk to myself because I know someone's listening. This is one of those, I need to talk to myself, aka also to a camera, to document this, to say this was a part of my life, and 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, do you want to be a universe who is older than this current iteration of himself, wants to relive this experience? Because I did the same thing when I worked at Popeyes. I worked at Popeyes for at least 3 years too. My entire high school life was me working at Popeyes, and I documented in my own personal way after I quit that job. However, when I quit that job, I did that purely because I was going to college, and it had nothing to do with like bad management, stuff like that. It was simply because I was moving away and I couldn't do anything about it. This one was legitimate. My first time walking up to my boss saying, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice because I can't take this anymore. That is like legit first time. This is my first job where this happened, and so I need to make sure that it's properly taken down, exactly what my experience was, and how I learned, and what I learned, and how my life got affected because of all this. Well, all that out of the way, now it's time for me for my rant that might be an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe even 45 minutes to shock myself. Okay, start from the beginning. The school, my college, was doing a job fair. I would not have gone to this job fair if it wasn't for my mom bringing it up when I called her that on the same day that it was going on. So literally me talking to my mom and her mentioning it to me. I could have ignored her. I could have been like, yeah, I went. I'm sorry, Mom. Couldn't find a good job. No, like soon as she said, oh yeah, wasn't there a job fair today? It's like, oh yeah, there is. I'll go check it out. Because a part of me was like, I'm not going to live off my mom and whatever like scraps of money that you're going to give me throughout the month. I need to provide for myself. So it's like, okay, I need to find a good job. Something that isn't a cashier would be great, because while I was working at Popeyes, being a cashier was tough as hell. I'm not the type of guy to like to give fake smiles to people, but I will give a real smile to a person who's actually genuinely nice. I'm not going to be a douchebag. There's this one chick over at the Popeyes that's in my area, and she does not smile for shit. Like, she does not smile whatsoever. I give her a smile, she's just blank face. Don't care about life. Literally doesn't care about anything that goes on. The happiest dude in the universe can walk up to her right now, and she'd be like death. And I don't like those type of cashiers. I like the cashiers that I understand that you don't want to be a cashier for the rest of your life. You're miserable. I'm miserable. I get you, but you don't have to be that down. So I'm kind of like that cashier. So I can't be a cashier anymore. Dealing with people is not my forte. Close up, because there are people who just want to bring their bad day on you, and if you go off on them, that you basically get fired, because you're just expressing yourself because this dude came up to you and wanted to piss you off, and he succeeded. Now, so I wanted to find a job that was like in the background, didn't have to deal with people, not a server, not something like that. Just want to be like a cook, even though I'm not very good at cooking. And so I saw a sushi restaurant. Sushi's not hard to make. It's literally dead fish on rice, and that's it. So as soon as I saw the sushi restaurant, one, I really like Japanese culture. Japanese culture always interests me, not just because of anime, but because of the mythologies they had, their customs, the culture in general just fascinates me. That's why I always wanted to go to Japan, but I know I can't go because I need at least know some Japanese if I ever wanted to spend a few days down there or something like that. So, like, a sushi restaurant would be a nice little stepping stone of how much I respect their culture, and also just want to. I also find being a cook there would be a lot better than any of the other jobs I was at that job fair. So I introduced myself. We talked for a little bit. They're really nice people, and they said that they're having interviews over at a place down in Austin. Now, this was like foreshadowing for how my life was going to be for the next 3 years. For the next 3 years of this job. They said that the interviews were going off somewhere in Austin, this hotel area. And I wanted this job. I'm like, I'm getting this. I'm going to do my best to get this job. All right, I looked up where it is, and it was like a ways away. Like, I think it was like 15 minutes with a car, 2.5 hours by bus, and like 3 hours by bike ride. Now, the area that I was in Round Rock did not have a bus system at that time. We didn't get a bus system over at Round Rock after like 2 years into me getting this job. So keep that in mind. It has been 2 years, and so there's no bus system over in Round Rock. The only way I was going to get anywhere is either to ask for a ride, get an Uber, or walk or ride my bike. I had a functioning bike at that time. So, me being me, I used an Uber to get there the first time. Took out a huge chunk of my money doing that because, again, I didn't have a job, so I was working on like borrowed money at that point, very limited amount. So I used an Uber to try to get this job, and I got there and did an interview. But after doing the interview, we had to leave and come back and do another thing. I think it was like once or twice we had to do this. So it was either spend like what I believe was $24 there and back with an Uber, which would almost come up to a whole $100 if I did. Money I did not have. Or I bite the bullet and walk or use my bike. And that's where the foreshadowing came in. I used my bike. It was horrendous. I hated my life. But I got there and I got the job. And it was over in Airport Boulevard. That's where the job's being placed, which is slightly closer, but still around the same time if I was using my bike. Using my bike and using any other system. After getting the job, I did my first few days, and I gotta say, the first few days where I was working at a sushi restaurant was very cathartic. I found myself actually enjoying my time there. I was learning what to do. I was learning the ins and outs. It's a brand new restaurant, so everything's clean, everything's working, everything's great. It seems like they care about people. We're all working together as a personal unit. Because that's what I got camaraderie there, and I was like, yes, this is the type of job that I wanted. Because we're working at Popeyes, it's either you do it or no one's gonna help you, that sort of thing. And if you got a shitty customer, then too bad. You're gonna have to deal with it the best way possible, keep your composure, or lose it and lose your job. That sort of thing. So I got how the system works. I liked how everything worked, and I also like the system of how you get paid. There's like there's a pooling tip system. So every single day that you're working, there's always a day where you're getting money. I think the highest version of tips that I ever received was like $52 in tips. So let's say you get $52, $33 every like four days you work. For every day you work, you get like $50, $30, $40, $50 in tips, and that means you're making like $300 every other week. So it's like that's incredible for a college student like me. So this is the perfect job. One, I'm not dealing with customers. And not running into those hard asses who hate their life and want me to hate it with them. And I'm working on my own personal schedule. The orders come in, I do the orders, and then I get them out. I'm the type of guy who hates to wait on his orders, but can wait. I have huge abundance of patience. There was one time I waited for I waited 45 to almost an hour for fries at McDonald's, just for fries, and apparently they just forgot me. And I was like, okay, can I just get my fries? I did not have any anger. I didn't have any animosity because I got music to listen to. I got music to listen to. I got games on my phones to play. I got so much stuff to keep me occupied that you can take like 3 hours to get one order for me done. As long as I'm getting my order, I'm fine. But I know other people are not like me, and I hate waiting for my orders too. Just because I can tolerate the waiting doesn't mean I just like to wait. So when I'm doing my orders, I do my damnedest to do it as fast as possible. And I made systems, I made ways, I tried to find some shortcuts into trying to make it so that when an order comes in, I get it out as soon as possible. I like to please people in that regard of not having them wait. I've always been that guy. And after really getting accustomed to things, and that's where the big system came in. Now, this system evolves, and what system I'm talking about, I mean my commute over to the job. My commute over to the job changes significantly throughout these 3 years, and it gets progressive. It's worse. It's at its worst in the beginning. Gets a little bit better. There's some pitfalls. It's at the best it could possibly be, and then we get here. How do I get to Airport Boulevard when I'm living over in Round Rock, Texas? Airport Boulevard is in Austin. I'm in Round Rock. So the commute there is weird. I do not have a car. There's no bus systems in my current area. The only way I'm going to get to any place is through walking or Uber. I'm working 3 to 4 days a week. If I use an Uber every single time I'm going to work, I did the math. I am losing more money than I'm making. And if I am giving out more than I'm getting back in return, there's not going to be nothing left. So I had to use my bike. It takes 3 hours via bike ride to get to where Round Rock is, to Airport Boulevard. And I dealt with that. I got on my bike, grin and fucking bear it, all the way to my job every single day to get there. And I get there excruciatingly early because I'm afraid if I leave like on the perfect time period. Let's say my shift starts for like this is back in the old times. My shift starts for like, I believe it was 11 to 12 o'clock. If I left at like, okay, 11, 10, 9, if I left at 9 and get there on time, I don't believe I can do that. So I always left 3 hours before 3 hours, before an hour before my actual shift. So let's say I left at 6. I left at 6 or I left at 7 to get there. And then I get there on time. I'm always an hour early. I'm always early for my jobs. This goes on most of the time over at Popeyes, over at Chuck E. Cheese's, over at any job that I get, any meeting, any assortment of anything that I go to. I hate being late to the point where I'll never be on time. AKA, I'll always be early. I'll always be an hour early for this. I'll be an hour early for that. It's also because of how I grew up. We always took buses over to New Orleans to Houston, and we always get to the bus station like 1 hour early so we can get a good seat and make sure, because when you're going back and forth on certain like holidays and stuff like that, you need to make sure you're early as hell, because if you're too far back in the line, you're going to get the person to be like, sorry, we're all full. You're going to have to wait for the next bus, which is going to take another 7 hours to get here. So I always worked on a mantra of always get to a place extremely early. It's way better than being on time, and especially better than being late. And that's what my philosophy was whenever going to a job or any sort of meeting. So I started. So that's how my life was. Every day it was time for me to work. I always spent those 3 hours on a bike, working my legs to the bone to get to a location where I worked more. And by the way, when you're working at a restaurant, you're more likely going to be standing up for all the time that you're there. So from the 9 to 5, doing a 9 to 5 gig, you're standing up for all that time after going through excruciating pain through your legs to get there anyway, with the hills, with the freeways and all that other stuff that you have to dodge and do that sort of stuff. Yeah, that was my life for a good, I'm gonna say maybe a year and a half at most, because at a certain point, I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. I don't think I can handle this. I'm going to school. I'm going to school, trying to make sure I'm getting doing all this shit right. And I'm also going above and beyond for any. I never did this for any other job. The closest thing would be Popeyes, because the Popeyes was over at my school, and the school was, I think, an hour or two away from my actual home. And the only way I can get back home is to take a few buses into downtown and then take another bus into the area and then do the rest of the walk back home. That's basically what is it. And you don't know how many times I was just stuck in downtown on like a Sunday where no buses were around. It's the middle of the night, and I was basically a homeless man for one day. Now, I knew what it was like to be homeless in the middle of the night, just walking around doing absolutely jack all until buses start running again so I can get back home. My parents are pretty like worried all the time, but I try to let them know that I'm a big boy. Like, me being in downtown, if anything is going to happen, I'm going to take care of myself, that sort of thing. So I've always been generally a brave dude, which is why I was okay with also going with a 3-hour bike ride. I'm not afraid to get hit by a car. I'm not afraid to get hit by a car. I'm not afraid to get chased by some wild dogs. I'm not afraid about much things when it comes to the outside world. I think it's because it's coupled with my depression and how much I just don't care about life. So if something bad happens, I'm just kind of going to deal with it because I don't care about life anyway. I know it's kind of morbid for me to say that, but that's really how I look at things. I almost have no fear in life because I'm not scared to die. And before looking at that as a means of straight up like the suicidal thoughts or something, no, it's not like that. It just means that whatever life is going to throw at me, I'm going to deal with. Life does not scare me to the point where I believe the next time I walk out my building, I'm going to get attacked and kidnapped by a serial murderer and tortured. Stuff like that doesn't cross my mind because I believe in the planet enough not to do that to me. And if it does happen, who the fuck cares? I'll deal with it. That sort of thing. So I'm a brave boy, that sort of thing. So I was okay with doing a 3-hour bike ride because I was already used to doing stuff like this when I was at my Popeyes job. And but as all things go, do it for a long period of time, you're sooner or later going to be like, maybe I should stop. This isn't really helping my mental stability, so I need to leave. But I wanted to fix that. Instead of trying to leave, I wanted to save up enough checks enough checks from the job so I can get an electric bike. taking the manual labor part out of the commute might help me better keep the job, because I'm already exhausted when I get there. I get even more exhausted, and then I have to take another 3-hour bike ride back. I don't know why I didn't mention this before. 3 hours there, 3 hours back. So 6 hours of my life is just on the road getting to one location to another. 6 hours? You can go to Houston to New Orleans via car in 5 hours. So if my parents wanted to go visit my sisters over in New Orleans, because they live in Houston, if my parents wanted to go visit my sisters over in New Orleans, they would get to New Orleans before I get back home from my job via commute. That's how long, in comparison, that you can take in my journey, you could say. So with all that, I wanted to get an electric bike, and I succeeded. Granted, for some reason, whenever you have a goal and to make your life easier, life seems to find the good ways to make your life even more miserable, to see if you actually have the moxie to keep it up. Because when I finally ordered my electric bicycle, which I think was like 400 or 500 bucks, I finally ordered it. It took a long fucking time for it to get here, and a longer fucking time for me to get it, because it came to my location. The UPS man wanted to come in at like 8 to 7 o'clock. No one's up at that time at the apartment. No one's up at the time at the apartment. So he just took the bike and put it over into a storage house, which was like, I think 30 something minutes away. And that's by car. So there's no fucking way I'm going to take a bus or an Uber to a location to get this massive bike. We're talking like a big box here. So even if I get there by myself, how the fuck am I gonna get back? I'm not gonna take that shit on a bus. I'm not gonna walk with that shit back. So I had to ask one of my roommates who had a car, which was a pickup truck, there. We had to do this like 5 times, because every single time it was something wrong. It was always something wrong. And by the way, me and this roommate, we're not the best of friends. We barely knew each other, that sort of thing. So me asking for this type of favor 5 times in a row really started to hamper on me. And guess what the fuck happened? First time, I think it had something to do with the fact they just weren't open. Second time, they were open, but they weren't talking to anyone at that point. Third time, they didn't understand why the hell I was there and what the fuck I was trying to get. Fourth time, they did know what I was talking about, but they just couldn't find it. I know it's in there. And the 5th time, I'm not even gonna talk about the 5th time. It's basically the same thing, only on fire. Let's put it that way. So I said, fuck it. I'm not gonna bother this dude anymore. I'm wasting this dude's gas. I'm not even giving him gas money. That sort of thing. That's how much I'm feeling bad about this. So I actually legit walked my ass there this time. I said, how hard can this fucking be? I'm gonna fucking do this. I walked my ass over to that storage house, told him about my situation, said, you're open, right? You're open. I'm looking for a bike. It's an electric bicycle. It's imported from Asia. Give me my fucking bike. And they gave it to me. They gave me this huge fucking thing. And this is one of the first times where I'm actually surprised that the world is actually not as shitty as I thought it would be. Because the guy who brought out the bike, who brought out this massive fucking box that's like 300, 400 pounds or some shit like that, he dragged this shit in. And then he's like, okay, how are you getting this back? I'm about to push this bitch. I literally said that. I'm about to push this bitch to my house. I need this bike. The 5 days, these happened on 5 separate days of me trying to get this bike, and all those days I had to go to my job and stuff like that. And I was getting sick and tired of it. I was actually about to lose my goddamn mind if I wasn't gonna get this electric bike to make my life easier. I bought this so I can make my life easier, so I can get the job. And give me this fucking bike. It's right here. I just need to assemble it. I'm getting it. I'm about to get this shit to my house. Even if it fucking kills my ass, I'm about to get it there. This is what? It's like a few hours from my house, from this location. I'm about to push this bitch all the way over. And then the guy said something that I am, to this day, still thankful for. I'll just bring it over. He said, I'll just use my truck on my lunch break. I'll put it in the back of my truck. Just give me your address. I'll bring this to the house. And he's like, I said, thank you. I still had to walk my ass back. There was no buses from my location to that location. So I still had to walk like an hour back home. But at least I knew that a guy was nice enough to use his free time to take that bike and get to my location. I was really happy about that. So I was waiting outside. He got to the location. Now, even though he helped me out a fair bit, I still had to go through a bit of a struggle, you could say, because of the apartment complex that I lived in. I lived on the third floor. I think at that time I was living on no, it was the third floor. I was living on the third floor of the apartment complex, and he only brought it to the bottom level and left me with it. So I had to take that box and start pushing that bitch up like 3 separate slopes on the parking garage. You know, those swirling parking garage places where all the cars are. I had to take my little ass, start pushing that bitch all the way up. I had a few good Samaritans. Of people seeing my struggle and them coming over and helping me push that bitch up. I had some good guys, and the last bit was I actually had to get some stairs in. So luckily, one of my roommates was there to help me up with the stairs. So I finally got it in. I finally got this goddamn bike. I opened it up, and now it's time for the assembly. Josh, you know Josh, aka Goat. He made planes with his dad, fixed planes with his dad. So I kind of just came to him when it comes to assembly. Granted, fixing planes and fixing up bikes are not the same thing, but screw it, you're the closest thing to a mechanic I have. So it was just me and him making this bike, and we made it to the best of our abilities. There were some kinks that we had to work out, but all in all, it was a functioning bike, and I was able to use it. And my God, the first time I was able to use that electric bike to get to work, it was very fucking real, man. Like, I was so fucking happy. Like, having just the wind hit my face and I'm not exerting any amount of pressure on my legs and myself was fantastic. It was at that moment where I feel like I can go to this job happy as happy can be with no problems whatsoever. And a month and a half went by and my tire blew out. Now, this bike single-handedly proves my point whenever I talk to my family and anyone in my social circle as to why I'll never in my life get a car. If I spend $300 for a tire fix on an electric bicycle, how the fuck do you expect me to want to care about a car which would probably cost way less and or way more depending on the place that I bring it to? First, I need to find good transportation to get this broken bike to a location that knows how to fix electric bicycles, which is apparently in Austin, Texas, and takes a fuck ton of time to get there. Another good Samaritan over at my school was able to help me out with this thing. He put it in the back of his pickup truck, and then he drove me to this one electronic place. I gave it to them, said, hey, just needed help getting the bike. And I asked them, is this something you can do? And they told me in my face that yes, they can do it. This is very important. I want you you guys to understand this. This is very important for this part in the story. They told me they could do it. They said it's going to take a day or so for them to get to it. So I had to leave my bike there and get my happy little ass back to my house. I waited a bit, and then I wanted to go back. I didn't want to inconvenience the man, and since the bike should be fixed when I get back down there, I shouldn't have to bother the dude that helped me get there before. So I took some buses over to downtown Austin, and I got my bike back. They told me that it was a little difficult to work on because apparently the kickstand for the bike is so foreign. Because in Japan, the kickstand to bikes are not like, oh, you just kind of click the thing and then you just let it go on its side. No, in Japan, or just Asia in general, I believe, their kickstands work on an operating system on the wheel itself. Basically, the wheel is going to be elevated once you kind of click it over to place. I think you just need to look up like Asian bikes or something like that to get what I'm talking about. But basically, the kickstand is like very different from the kickstands they're used to, and it got in the way of them trying to fix the bike. So they had to remove the kickstand in order to operate on the wheel, which really dampened their ability to fix it, and they found very weird things about it. And all in all, They got it done. They got it done, and it was working. I was able to use it to get back home. 2 days later, the battery just dies. I'm riding my bicycle. The slightest little bumps I took. Pew! Battery done. Battery just dead. Nothing I did turned it back on. And I'm like, that's odd. Last time I checked, the battery was not the problem. It was just the wheel. And unless this bump is the bump of the gods, I don't think my bike just turns off once you hit a bump. I hit a fucking pothole with this bitch and nothing like that happened. But suddenly, after getting this quote-unquote fixed by these people, this happened. Of course I had some problems. So I went back to the place. Had to use another favor from the guy to get my bike back to the place. Gave it back to him. Told him the situation. And then they took it again. I had to wait another few days. And when I came back in, they weren't done fixing the bike. So I sat my little ass there and wanted to wait. I said, is it okay if I just kind of wait until you get it done? It'd be fine. And they said, fine. I sat down and waited for them to fix my goddamn bike. They fixed it by breaking it. The only way they could fix my bike to turn it on is if they could not make it so that I can't turn it back off. The only fucking way they can fix my bike is to make it so that the battery cannot turn off. So I gave these bitches $300. $100 and something for the fucking wheel, and another couple of $100 for the shit they just did to my bike. I can't sell this bike on eBay. I can't fucking pawn this shit off anymore because it's basically broken in the eyes of anyone I want to sell this to. I gave these bitches $300, my hard-earned fucking money that I want to use to get this bike to get so I can make my life easier to go to fucking work, just so they can break it, and I had to deal with that shit. I took it and deal with it. I said, fine, I need this fucking bike. Throughout this entire fucking ordeal, I did not have this bike to get to fucking work. I hated this whole commute deal. I got my fucking bike back, and I got it. And I used it again, and goddamn it, I saw all the signs. Man, every single day that I'm using this bike and it's not being able to turn off, the battery's leaking out. The more I charge it, the more problematic it has. Every single day, the commute to work gets harder because the battery keeps going down faster and faster and faster to the point where when I'm only 35 minutes away from work, the battery's so far dead, I need to exert just as much pressure as I need to get this bitch to move to get to the job, and so on and so forth. So it just wasn't worth it anymore. These motherfuckers fucking destroyed my bike, and I just had to deal with that shit. And you want to know the biggest kicker to this? You want to know the biggest fucking kicker to this? My tire busted again. It busted again. And I had one of two options. Deal with the fact that I don't have this fucking bike anymore. Just deal with the fucking commute again. Or find another place that's better than that place. I found another place over across from Austin. I found another place. I went there. And guess what? These motherfuckers took my bike and fixed the tire. $25. Took them $25. $25. All that shit I told you, all this shit about these guys being good at their job, working on scooters, working on electric bicycles, doing that sort of shit. You know, $300 to break your bike. You know, we fucking broke it to begin with. You know, $300. It's worth it. Besides, also one of the comments were when they talked to my mom, because my mom was pissed. My mom was pissed off. My mom called the place, and one of their comments was, with me sitting there and waiting for them to fix my bike, put pressure on them. I was pressuring them. You just had to walk up and say, hey, man, we kind of don't like you being here. You're kind of putting a little pressure on us. Could you, like, leave? I would have been fucking gone in less than a fucking microsecond. I don't want to put pressure on you guys. Fixing my goddamn bike! I gave you a job. I gave you a shit ton of money to do it, and you're doing a fucking shit job at it. And you're expecting me to say, oh, I'm sorry, guys. It's okay. Just destroy my bike. It's fine. I'm giving you good fucking money to destroy my shit. It's fine. It's fine. It's not like I worked really fucking hard to get this bike or anything. Take your time. I'm sorry. Forgive me, man. No. And then after finding this place, Same tire, by the way. This is the same tire. It's not like the first tire with the front tire. No, it's the back tire where all the mechanisms are in place to make it so that the bike actually does its job being a electric vehicle. All right, same job. Half the time. No, not even half the time. It took them a day to break my shit. It took them a few hours to fix my goddamn wheel. And you know what? You know what else? They also had the kickstand problem. They're like, this kickstand is making it kind of hard to get to the wheel. Would it be okay if we just kind of removed it? And I'm like, if it makes your job easier, do it. I don't fucking care. I didn't say fucking at that time because at that time I was like really calm. But you know what I mean. It's like I didn't care. They took it off, fixed my bike in like an hour and a half. It made me have to pay $25. I got my bike back. It was fixed. It was fixed. Now I'm just looking for that universe where I found these guys first. They just fixed my bike. My battery had no problems, and I had a functioning bike again. So needless to say, if I had any other mechanical problems via more times that my bike had like a flat tire or anything like that, I go to them. Because one, they're very nice. They're very nice people. Two, they know what the fuck they're doing. They actually are good at their job. And three, they actually made the bike a lot easier to handle and stuff like that. They even fixed shit they didn't even have to fix. Like I had this problem with my light. That my light wasn't standing up. He's like, hey, we can fix this for you. And it's like, oh, how much will that cost? I was like, just fucking do it, man. It's fine. And then they fixed it. And it's like, I had a functioning light. And it's like, these dudes were great. That's how you fucking that's how you do a job. That's how you fucking do a job. So I got my bike back, started to use it again. And as I said, the more I used it every day to get to work, the harder it was to get to work because the battery was just becoming more and more things. And I tried to talk to the same people who fixed my tire properly. And they said they couldn't fix it like that. Like the mechanism to that, if we touched it, basically the only thing that would happen is we make it so that it's just broken, man. They really felt bad about it. These people have some fucking emotion or something like that. Unlike the other fuckers, okay. And I'm like, it's fine. If there is ever any moment where I get more money, I will definitely come to this place to buy another electric bicycle because you guys know what the hell you're doing. And he's like, yeah, we'd be happy to help you out with that. But I didn't actually go through with it because I'm like, I'll just deal with the fact. Deal with this fact. So, long story short, I now have a useless electric bicycle that's currently broken and destroyed, basically. No one can ever use it because even if I want to try to pawn it off or something like that, I have to let them know that, oh, by the way, it's basically broken. The whole system is. Now, the only way I can actually fix that bike properly is to go online and buy a whole nother battery. But here's the thing. Buying a whole nother battery is like $300. $300 to $250 to buy a battery. So electric bikes doesn't care about the actual like structure of itself. It's the battery that costs the most amount of money. And at that point, I might as well buy a fucking other bike. It's kind of like a broken TV. You would have better time buying a new TV than getting someone to repair a TV that's broken because that's just how it works. So at that point, I never really got enough money to sustain myself. Both get food, have my own life. That sort of thing, pay bills, pay rent, and stuff like that. I didn't have that type of stuff to get another battery or another bike. So I just deal with the fact and said, fuck it, I'll just go back to my old system. I take my regular fucking bike, take my old little jolly ass over the 3-hour bike ride, and go back to that system. Because at that point, it was basically like a little break. I was able to have a little bit of a break from that system, and now that I'm back into it. Maybe I might be a little bit more energized. I was fucking wrong. Because throughout that entire time of doing things, nothing that I hated more when going to that job was the winter time. I'm a man of heat. If I had to choose between burning to death and freezing to death, I choose burning to death over any day. That's just my personal thing. I hate the cold. I despise the cold. And so you're telling me that I have to spend 3 hours of my time and another 3 hours getting back home, so 6 hours in total, on a road with a bike in the wintertime where there's fucking sleet, black ice, or the ice that's on like sidewalks and stuff like that. The weather itself, cold air hitting my body. While trying to go up hills and stuff like that. You're telling me I'm going to have to do that for all of winter, and you're going to expect me to just keep my sanity. I did it. Clearly, if I had a job still. So that had to be the worst portions of the 3 years that I had to use my bike to get to work. Me on my bike, cold as hell, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock in the morning, trying to get to work, freezing cold. I did it though. I did it, and I hate it. But yeah, that was just like a portion I just wanted to bring up, because it's like, damn it, man. I have like the willpower of at least a demigod. I mean, I'm not gonna go straight to God, but at least a demi one, right? Oh, man. Again, I quit puzzles easier than this. I quit jigsaw puzzles easier than what I'm fucking going through. Yet I'm still here, because in all honesty, I think I said this before, but if I didn't, let me say it now. In all honesty, Kura Sushi was the best job for a guy like me to have. Again, I'm not dealing with customers. I'm doing my thing at my own time. Is the best fucking thing. And plus, the people there are actually pretty okay. Nothing's annoying me. Nothing's great. Then we get to year 2 and year 3. Year 2 and year 3. The rest of year 2 and the rest of year 3. All right. You ever been a job and you like the people that are there in the first like few months you're there, and then suddenly they just start to leave? Those people that you basically started this job with, hung out with, understood their personalities and stuff like that. Then you just leave, and then suddenly you just got these new people. These new people learn the ropes, and while you already have like a year and a half or 2 years of experience under your belt, so you know everything you're doing, but they don't know jack shit, that sort of thing. And managers expect you to teach them, despite the fact that just because I'm working here doesn't mean I automatically know how to teach others, that sort of thing. Yeah, that happened. A lot of my friends, a lot of my people that I like to work with left, and I got like new people. Not to say that these new people were like horrible or anything like that. No. It was just like a weird atmosphere change. It's like suddenly these happy faces that I'm used to seeing are now like casual faces to faces that just don't seem like they want to be there anymore, or just because they just got here or something like that. It's a weird way to explain it. But just know that the entire atmosphere changed, and with that atmosphere change came my own personal change in how I view going to this job. And this is where the small things started to get bigger, I guess. Okay. So, I guess the first small thing I can bring up. First thing's good. Let's start with good. I'm not gonna say names, but I had my own personal like group of people that I like to see show up. And when these people work with me, I'm happy. Like these are the type of days where I'm perfectly fine at working, because working with these people is great. A girl that I was working with, it's like we had such good synergy with each other. It's almost appalling. There have been days that we just kind of work at our stations without exchanging any line of dialogue, because we automatically know what the hell we need to do. Like if this shows up, I'm over here, she's over there, I get one thing, I hand it off to her, and then I just get on to another thing, and then all those orders gone in like a flash, because we have that good amount of synergy without even exchanging a single line of dialogue. While other people that I work with, we always have to be like, oh, do I need to do this? Hey, where's this, or this and that? No, me and her, we were on top of that shit. We were good at our job. That's that sort of thing. And I liked working with her because that sort of stuff made my life easier and stuff like that. And so on and so forth. There was also some other guys that was good to talk to and just keep my sanity, basically, because I'm still doing this whole 3-hour trip thing. So anything helping me mentally when I get there always makes me happy. And that continue on. So those are the good things. And then we get to the bad. Then we get to the small things that has nothing to do with them. I'm gonna make sure I preface this very, very, because I've been telling myself this for a long time, and I need to make sure I make myself perfectly clear. When this stuff happens, when these people do this has nothing on them. It is all me and my personality and how I am just weird. Okay? First things first, let's go with one of the smallest things, and that is people are very loud now. People are very loud, and I'm not gonna say anything about black, white, Hispanic, or anything like that. People are people. If people are loud, I hate that. I'm the type of guy. I'm a recluse at heart. I like to be by myself and have everything be generally quiet. So when you have things in the background and you have people talking extremely loudly, people talking to their family members through video chat. So it's like speaker system. They're just talking out loud and having everyone else hear the conversations and stuff like that in a very cramped room. By the way, that's our break room area. It's very cramped, and you got a lot of people just in there. I do my best just to go outside and deal with the fact that it's cold, and deal with the fact that it's hot, deal with the fact, as long as I'm alone and don't have to deal with that sort of thing. But as the rest of the 3 years went by, it started to really pile up on the fact that, man, I really don't like just going out of my way not to be around these people who are so damn loud. And that's it. And then you get to the one thing that I physically hurt myself sometimes trying to get over. And it is something that I really need to go deep into, in depth into. And trust me, this is very important to the whole job scenario. So this is me trailing off to a particular story. And if you do, this is one of those very personal matters. All right, I hate whistling. I really fucking despise whistling. Whistling in any sense of regard, whether you're doing playfully to get my attention, do anything like that, anything. I fucking hate it. It is torture to my head, to the point where I'm no joke. When a person whistles a very particular tune or any other type of way from a far off location to right in front of me, I get a migraine. My head starts to physically hurt when people whistle. This isn't a, man, I get annoyed because whistling is just so annoying. No, this is an actual physical pain that goes through my body every single time someone whistles. And here is why. If you've been on my channel, you know that I have particular problems with my mental stability and shit like that. And that got me to talk to a lot of therapists and people who are certified to talk to people like me about that sort of stuff. And so I was able to talk about them with my personal life and things that went on. And now you're going to hear one of those stories. Why do I hate whistling so much? Why whistling, of all things? Granted, yeah, in certain regards, whistling can be annoying, but hate it to the point where you get a migraine? How is that even possible? Well, apparently it has something to do with childhood trauma. Okay, I don't even tell friends this sometimes, but when I was young, very young, there was at my middle school there was a library. And that library had this giant tree right in the front of it. It was I think maybe one or two trees, and they're just connected together. One of these days, when I was in high school, I don't know, not high school, middle school. I don't know what grade I was in, but I was in middle school. I believe I was probably in one of the lesser grades because I remember switching middle school, so it definitely wasn't like the last middle school grade that you can get before going to high school. I think 8th grade. So probably 7th or 6th grade, and so I was very young at the time. And this tree, in the tree, had a bird's nest. And me being a dumb kid, I wanted to mess with this bird nest. I never seen a bird nest before. I was always curious. It's bird nests. I've seen documentaries and stuff, and that's interesting to me. So, long story short, the end result led to the bird's nest falling out of the tree, and there are 3 baby birds. 3 baby birds fell from that tree and smacked on the ground. One died on impact. The other two didn't die. One died on impact. The other 2 landed. One of them landed, and the chirping, I guess you could say, the chirping that it was making wasn't a chirp. It was like a scream. It was like this giant tweet that never stopped. One of them tried to tweet, but it's like its windpipe was broken or something like that, because it had its mouth open, but it didn't say anything. And that ear-piercing sound going through my ears, as I was looking at this, I saw a bird just die like that. And then, I think this is what really, probably instigated that trauma I have with whistling, how much I hate it so much. The bird that was screaming like that, the bird that kept on going with that, was crawling, like inching its way in an area, screaming like that. It was screaming into a street. I think you know where this is going. I was looking at it, just watching it go, just watching it just scream its little fucking heart out, and crawling into a street, and literally the first fucking car. This wasn't like a near miss. It wasn't like a maybe we might see it and swerve. No, first fucking car, no remorse, right over it. At that point, I think that's probably where my severe hatred for whistling, because every time someone whistles, I'm reminded of that. I'm reminded of that imagery. I'm reminded of what I did and how I basically fuck with the ecosystem like that. How I just mess with a bird's life. I don't care if you're that type of person who cares about like animals and not type of way or something like that. Even if you don't care and you're okay with like people shooting ducks out of the sky and stuff like that, if you're alright with just killing animals and stuff like that, I get that. I'm kind of like one of those people too. But when you look at something like that and actually see humanity in a bird screaming in pain and it gets run over by a car just like that, and then thinking to yourself, what is the mama bird thinking? What is the mama bird, dad bird? What was the bird that goes to the nest to care for its children think when it comes back knowing that it's gone thanks to some fucked up kid and his fucked up imagination wanting to think that it's a fucking good idea to fuck with its fucking shit like that? That's why I hated whistling. And that's why this story is so important for me to tell you, because there is a group of people who just love to whistle in my area. Every single day I walk inside the restaurant. Like fucking clockwork, he whistles the same goddamn tune every single second, at least 3 times before the day actually starts and people start coming in. I hit myself. I like ram my head through, hit my head on walls. I fucking like slam my fucking fists to the ground just to get a different sound, just to focus on something else besides this goddamn whistling, because it fucking makes my head hurt and it fucking hate my life every single time he fucking does it. And guess what? It's not his fault. It's not his fault. I can't simply walk up and say, hey man, can you stop fucking whistling? I fucking hate that shit. I can't do that. Why? Because it's not his fucking deal. It's nothing his problem. I do not hate this man. I do not hate what he does. He simply wants it so he can fucking, it's kind of like listening to music when you're trying to do work. He's just trying to let the time pass. Who am I to go up to him and say, stop whistling because I had a childhood trauma back in the day? Who am I to fucking do that? I can't do that. So I just have to just deal with it. And I couldn't. It's my own personal deal, and it's pathetic. It's fucking pathetic. For the rest of the 3 years I was there, I had to deal with that. And I really cannot stress enough how hard it was to deal with that every single fucking day. How it personally was hurting me, and how no one else could really either understand, get, or care, because they're not in my position. They haven't and if they have and gone through it way better than me, congratulations, you're way better than me. But I couldn't do it. That personal thing was one of like the main deals that was really driving me nuts. I guess that's also a reason why I don't like yelling so much, because the yells and loud noises, stuff like that, I can't take it. So that's why I always like to listen to music. That's why you always will probably see me, if you see me walking, you see me doing something like labor wise, you'll see me listening to music, because music distorts, I guess, blocks out the rest of the world sound. It's kind of like vinyl in that one short of Rainbow Rocks. I put on my headphones and just let the world's sounds just kind of dim and just keep my own thing. And that's what I wanted to try to do and keep up. I got a cool manager once. He used to be a regular time worker, and we kind of like talk back and forth, and he became a manager, like a supervisor at least. And so a supervisor, not a manager, a supervisor. And he was tasked to making sure that people come in the morning, do the sushi prep, and the guy who whistles is still there. He's always there. And I wanted to see if I could just listen to music while I prep my station. I've been working here for 3 years. I've been doing this for a fucking long time. I know what the hell I'm doing. Music's not going to distract me. I want to listen to music so I don't have to deal with the other stuff around. So I was listening to music, and my God, it was very, very, very good to do that. It felt really good to just listen to music, do my job without having to worry about the whistling. Didn't have to worry about the loud people in the background. Didn't have to worry about anything. Just deal with my own work. But then you have the supervisors/managers who think it's unprofessional to listen to music while doing work, that it's distracting you, even though my work ethic actually doubled in speed when listening to music. But they don't care. They don't care. When a person listens to music, they just feel like you don't care. Which is very funny because there are people who just turn on their music on their phone, like speaker-wise. This is what I mean by noise and random noise in the background. You have people who have their phone, puts it on speaker, and just play their music. Their Mexican music, their pop rock, their rapping, whatever. They just put it on, put it up, and they're just listening to their music. So why can't I put on my headphones, have my own personal music, don't have to be distracted by their music, and do my work? Apparently that just doesn't count. But whatever. So on the days where I have the cool supervisor, I'm able to use my headphones, and thus those days are a lot better for me, and thus nothing's wrong on those days. And then there are days where you have those managers that have a stick up their ass, and I have to deal with the fact and just kind of deal with my own personal sanity, that sort of thing. And that's pretty much how things were like that. Let me bring up some things. I think it was around the 2 years and a half mark where Round Rock got its own bus system. And when Round Rock got its own bus system, I no longer had to really use a bike anymore. I just had to take a bus, and that bus will get me to a transit. And that transit will get me the rest of the way, and I'm at my job. This weirdly still took around like 2 hours or so to get there, because the buses take their time getting here. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes, 25 minutes to get to the transit. Transit takes, I think, 30 to 20 minutes to get here, and takes 15 minutes to get to my location, to that location. So let's say an hour and 15 minutes at bare maximum to get me from where I am. So it's still like 2 hours or something out of my day from to and fro back home. And sometimes those times just change because I either miss a bus or something like that. So in the end, I'm still have a whole bunch of fucking time. And then sometimes on Saturdays, the bus system's not working, so I have to walk to the transit, which then the 3 hour thing turned back, and that's where all that sort of stuff. So all this time, you just remember, all this time, these 3 years, 4 to 3 days a week, I am spending 6 hours of my time walking or on a bike or trying to just get to a location. If you want to do the math of how much time I waste basically doing nothing more than get to a location, like a long ass loading screen on a video game, you can do that. So that's 3 years. Just take verbatim 3 years. Take 3 days, 3 days a week of those 3 years, and now just take 6 hours. All that time gone. Doing nothing more than just to get to a location. That's it. And that's how that life. And that's basically how my life was. Now we get to. I think now we get to like the kicker here. Unless I'm forgetting something to really bring up when it comes to my work life. No, I think I pretty much said everything that is very very important in forms of like the development of how my mental stability was, and how keeping this job really sometimes hurt me a bunch than just benefit me, especially the whole bike scenario. If I didn't have that job and wanted to keep that bike, I would be $600 richer. Think about that. Going off that, as a side thing, I met Wiz and Boomstick. I mentioned that on one of my Death Battle reactions, so I guess it was thanks to that job I was able to meet those guys, and plus the animator who does most of the 3D fights and stuff like that. So that was cool. That job really helped me get my foot in the door, basically, because you don't know how weird and funny it was to then find the animator again and be like, hey man, I know you don't probably remember me, but like 2.5 years ago I actually met you guys over at Kurasushi. He's like, yeah, I remember you. I was like, really? No, you just remember me? oh, I'm blushing. That sort of shit. That was a fun little romp. So out of all the things that Kurasushi has done for me, it was actually that was pretty cool. But the other stuff was definitely bad. Going down Down the list. Nope. I think I pretty much covered everything. You had your managers. You had your supervisors, you had your stuff, and that's pretty much how my life was. Once the transit system started to really work me down. I actually got a ticket once. I will bring that up since I brought the whole bike thing up. The transit has a system where if you do not have a ticket on the transit, and there's a guy or a girl with this little scanner thing, and they scan your ticket, and then and if you don't have a ticket, you have to pay a $70 fine. Now, before you go off and say, well, do you want to be universe? Maybe if you just bought a ticket, I mean, they're only $3.50. Like, would you rather spend $70 of your life or $3.50? Well, here's the thing, guys. One of these days, one of the times I had like this the bus card that you get for a bus, and then I gave this bus card to the guy with the scanning thing. He scanned it in and didn't talk to me. In my mind, that means the bus card is good. And I always get the bus card. Because the bus card is only $2.50 from the bus I always take. So in my mind, me giving him this, him scanning it, not talking to me anymore, supposed to give me the confirmation that this is okay thing, right? Right? Am I wrong in some way? Am I wrong in some way? If I am, please, feel free to DM me. Okay? After that, one of the days where I had the card again, and it was a different dude, he scanned the card and he's like, oh man, no, this doesn't count. What do you mean it doesn't count? I literally gave it to another guy, he scanned it in and he just fucking give me any shit. Why are you giving me this shit? He's like, oh, it just doesn't count. And so I got a $70 ticket. Because apparently that one guy wasn't doing his job right. Sure, but anyway, whatever. I got a ticket and I fucking paid for it. So I had a job then. So I'm $70 poorer at that point. It's like, you know what I could have done for $70 fucking dollars at that time? I was, whatever. Tickets are bad. Don't get them. Anyway, I did that. And then you get to the part where my mental stability start to really like go downhill. I reached the point that I'm about to graduate college, and college at this point is trying to tell me that I need to get an internship over at some place. I have to say, if there's one thing I gotta say about the Arts Institute of Austin, they really need to commute that better to the students. That you have to have an internship for the class that says internship. Now, if you're just an upcoming student and you see a class called internship, and the description basically says to help those get an internship or help those understand what internships are about and stuff like that, basically, then you would suspect that this is the school's way of saying we're gonna help you understand what it takes to put yourself out there, what you need, what the people who do internships look for, that sort of stuff. You think that's kind of class? No, that class actually means you need to already be in an internship. Literally verbatim, you need to be in the industry as this class starts in order to be in the class. So when I got that class the first time around, I didn't have an internship. Hell, literally 85% of the students in that classroom didn't have an internship because no one understood what the fuck you were talking about. And now, basically, wasted all that money paying for this class only to have it dropped and do it next time because you failed to really explain to us. No email, no nothing like that, no extra little bit of information. Nope, you had to find out in the class itself that you already need to have an internship. All right, I have to wait 3 months until I get that class again, which is one of my last classes, so I need to do it. And also I get 3 months to try to get an internship. All right, the one place I want to be, the one place that I want to be in this life is at Rooster Teeth. I want to see if I can get a place at Rooster Teeth, so I started applying to this place, Certain Affinity, other places like that, but most of my stuff went to Rooster Teeth, and I got a few rejection letters, and I got one letter that said it wasn't really a rejection, they're just pushing it over to another date. I was like, okay, at least you considered me, but, you know, that sort of stuff. And that could have went on. Once the 3-month period ended, and I got the internship again, still all doing the job. Keep this in mind. This is an actual detour that's important to know. On the 3rd month, I got the email for the internship over at Death Battle. However, I didn't really read the fine print that it was a summer internship, and right now it wasn't summer. So basically, I signed up and got something that I wasn't supposed to get to. So basically, when I got the internship class again, after those 3 months, I got the internship class again and said, hey, I got an internship. It's confirmed. I got it. But it wasn't for this quarter. It's for basically next quarter. So I had to get dropped from the class again. So that's 6 months. 6 months of a class that I couldn't get. But the third time's a charm. Third time I will have that internship, and that's where we are today. That sort of thing. But back to the old days. When I finally got the internship, I got that, and I got that email. I was so happy, and apparently it was like a good and bad thing at the same time. Because at that point, I started to think about my future a little too much. And while people can say that's good, you're thinking about your future. You're thinking about what you want to do in life. But when you're working a day job, where a lot of small things are already kind of ticking you off in a very interesting manner, putting your life in the hands of, man, what am I going to do with my career while I'm sitting there making sushi and ramen and stuff like that, burning myself through grease because we also have like tempura stuff and shit. You have to think, maybe doing this isn't worth it. It's like I'm wasting my life. I want to be an animator, and yet here I am spending 6 to 7 to 8 hours of my day doing something that I hate doing. That's where my mindset went to. Now my mindset is no longer, all right, let me do this. I need to get these orders done because I don't like people waiting and stuff like that. Went from that to man, I'm wasting my life. I don't like wasting my life. Wasting my life is bad. I should be doing things that I like to do and doing it to pursue the job that I want. And with that internship thing now confirmed, I already started thinking about that more. So coupled with that, coupled with depression, coupled with the commute there, coupled with the all the stuff that goes on in school life, all the annoying shit that goes on in the classroom, not the class, the work area with the whistling and the loud noises and the people doing their music, and I can't do my music because, you know, apparently if you use speakers, you're perfectly fine, but use headphones, you're a devil. So on and so forth, like that. You start to see that my mental stability starts to slowly but surely start to go from 85 to 75 to 70 to 60, 50, and then the smallest shit starts to get me off. The smallest shit, like someone telling me one thing in like a very calm manner, and then suddenly I want to like punch something because I'm frustrated. That's where small shit. At that point, the managers that I was used to at that point, again, changed. And just like how I said before, the last time this happened, where a lot of my familiar faces just left, and now I'm just dealing with these new guys, or dealing with faces that I at this point come to a realization that I'm about to get into my work effort rant here. Oh man, I was dreading this portion of the video. But basically, I come to realize that day jobs don't care about you. All right, this could be completely different for you. This could be different for everyone. But for me, I came to a realization that this day job doesn't care about me. It doesn't. You're looking at a guy who shows up 3 hours before his actual shift just so he doesn't have to be late. Who gets here before managers do to open up the building. Like, I wake up at 4, 5, 6 o'clock to do a commute that's torture to my legs and torture to everything else in my mental stability to get to this location every single day on time, do my best to be the best worker I possibly can be, work my ass to the bone for you people, for your job that I chose to stick around for. I've quit jobs, I've quit things way easier than this, yet I stayed because I feel like this is the best place for me. This is the best place for money. This is the best place for everything else in every other regard. And I'm doing this for you guys. Yet, you treat me as though that I'm nothing more than a broken little spring in your machine. Once I show the slightest bit of rust in your system. What do I mean by this? All the stuff that I told you. The lengths that I go to make it so that I stay in this job. The lengths that I go, the things that I do, the favors that I take, the money that I spent just to stay in your job. The least you could do is respect me a little bit. Just a little. I'm not asking for much. I'm not asking you to fucking give me a pay raise. Even though I've been working for 3 years, you think you give me at least an extra $1. No, I'm not asking for a pay. I never ask for a pay raise. I don't ask for pay raises because I feel like the money that I'm making is enough. That sort of shit. I'm not asking for a pay raise. I'm not asking for your undying love and affection. I'm not asking for a high five every day. I'm simply asking for you to, at some point, tell me, am I okay? You doing all right? You seem to be working pretty hard. You doing good? Need some help? That sort of thing. Once every now and then. Is that truly a lot to ask for? If it is, I'm sorry. But when you're a guy like me, who really hates people sometimes, people as a group, not individuals are awesome. A lot of individuals I know are fucking fantastic, but people as a mass. So when I'm here, surrounded by people, and I'm tolerating you guys, and I'm doing my best to be the best person I can be, the least you could do is just be like, good job, John. You've been doing good. You've been here for 3 years. A lot of these motherfuckers left. I'm one of the OGs. I'm one of the OGs. I've been sticking here ever since you opened. I have never once wanted to leave on my own accord. I stayed. You have fired people. You have seen people quit. You have gotten understaffed, but I stuck around. Because I cared about this job. Because I liked this job. This job was good. I found it to be worth the trips. Here and back. The money that I spent to get here and back. The labor that I do to get here and back. I found it to be worth it for you. Yet what do you do? As soon as I do my best to keep my stress levels as low as possible, what do? You think I'm the worst thing in the universe. You disrespect me. You think I'm as bad as the person who mouthed off to you. There was a person who mouthed off to you, said that you were one of the worst people on the planet, that you put him through hell. He doesn't like this job. He never liked you, and he just walked out. No 2 weeks notice. Nothing like that. He just left all of us to fend for ourselves with one less dude on that day. On a Saturday, one of the busiest days of the week, on a Saturday. He just did that. And yet you're looking at me with the same eyes you gave him as soon as I gave off a little bit. And I'm not exaggerating to you people. I gave off just a little bit of, I don't think I can do this. That's it. It really goes to show just how much they do not care about you. They might put on a smiling face, but as soon... I had this analogy in my head, and I'm gonna use it. You had TVs, you had electronics, you have stuff like that. Now, let's do a scenario. You're watching TV, you're playing a video game or whatever. You're doing it. You're like, this TV is awesome. This TV is like the best fucking TV I've ever had in my entire life. Look at it. Look at that screen. I'm playing my video game, having fun, having a good old time. This is the greatest TV ever. But as soon as that TV shows the slightest bit of static, shows the slightest bit of hesitation in trying to in disrupting your flow and entertainment, you're not getting good reception. What is the first thing? What is the most common thing that you mostly see people do to an electronic that isn't working properly? You hit it. You go straight to a very violent course of action to make it so that it fixes. Making it show that is basically the same type of analogy that went on at the job. That is basically the same thing. I am a TV. I am doing my best to do what you're paying me to do. I am doing that. But I show a little bit of static and you hit me. Not physically, clearly, because lawsuits for that sort of shit. But you hit me worse, technically, for me. I take physical pain. Like, I get jumped sometimes when I was in my old high school and middle school days. I got jumped in the middle of the street. And because I'm a pacifist, I just let it happen. So physical pain, I got hit by a car once. And guess what? I got back up, started to walk a little bit, and until my legs gave out, I fucking fell. That's when I fall. I'm good at taking physical pain. But when you hit me emotionally, when you hit me in a mental way, if you hit me in that sort of way, I can't take that shit. I fall easily to that sort of stuff. I'm very vulnerable in that aspect, even though I do my best to make it so that I'm in a goddamn castle in forms of keeping my brain intact. You look at me with a smile. You say hello to me. You do this sort of stuff. And as soon as I show the slightest bit of hesitation in my work, you don't want anything to do with me. There have been a few managers that actually saw how hard I worked. I remember one of my favorite comments being, I like this man. I like this boy. He just does his work and doesn't talk that much. He just knows what he knows what he's here for. He's doing his job. He's not talking to people, distracting himself with idle chit chat, which a lot of people do in that job, by the way. They go around talking about their personal stuff, not doing their job, just talking about their thing, which I am okay with. You can talk to your friends, you can talk to people, have like a little bit of a social gathering because it helps the day go by faster. It's kind of like a Gretzko. You have those friends to keep your sanity there, because if you're able to talk casually, that's it. I don't do that. I don't talk casually with my friends. We just, whenever they talk, it's like a one-worded response, and I go right back to work. I do my best to keep up with my work. I don't talk to people. I don't do anything like that because I just want to work. That's what I'm here for. I do my job. My check isn't a handout. My check is because I worked here. I'm going to do that. And that's why one of the managers liked me that way. He liked the fact that I do that. But that manager is no longer around. He's never my manager anymore. That's one of the things to talk about. He left. He's now managing a whole other group. He's no longer here. He's no longer helping me with my sanity because he was one of the good ones. No, you now got the ones that only look at me as a cog in the system, and as soon as I start acting up, they want to replace me or just get me out because they don't feel like I'm able to benefit them anymore, despite the fact that I'm working in prime condition. You just need to give me some WD fucking 40, and so I can help better. But you don't do that. You don't do that. You just fucking let me rust away because you feel like it's always my fault. It's my job to keep my own fucking mental thing. You know how far you can help a person just by saying, how was your day? Do you know how far you can help a man in his life with a smile? You know how far you can get a person to do things if you just be genuinely nice to them? No, apparently. You just want me to do my job without any disregard of my own personal mental stability. My own physical stability. I twisted my ankle once, and you know what I did? I bared through it. Because I didn't want to just say, oh man, my ankle is really hurting, and since this job is mostly just walking around and standing all the time, it's really gonna hurt my leg. I didn't give you even that shit. Why? Because this is my job, and I'm gonna fucking do it. Just like Gretzko herself. You give me orders, and I do those orders. You tell me what to do, I do it. And I do it because I feel like it's just what you do. I don't know, it's just what you do. Why don't I have a job? It's what you do. I need a job so I can get money so I can continue living out life so I don't have to be a homeless man. I feel like it's worth it to go through any sort of excruciating whatever the fuck's going on because that's just how the world works at this point. So I do that for you. I do it because you are the people that I chose and I wanted to help. And I stuck around for all these years. Not asking for higher pay. Not bringing you any of my personal problems. And you think I'm horrible for it. As soon as I say one thing that just wanted to allude to the fact that I might not want to keep this job anymore. I think the only reason why it got this bad is because with the internship, while I do enjoy every second that I'm in the internship, I'm not making any money, so it's not financially beneficial at all. It's still mentally beneficial because I'm doing things that I love and I'm with people who actually care about me. At least in the sense that they care about my work. Well, I'm not going to go as far as to say they're my friends now. I will go as far as to say that every single comment I get about my storyboards and stuff that I do, the work that I do there, and they're saying, this is fucking awesome, that helps me so fucking much. I cannot express to you how happy I get when they say that the job that I'm doing is a good job. A simple good job. You don't even have to do a thumbs up. You don't even have to do a thumbs up to say this is good. You're doing good. You're doing what we hired you for, and you're doing a damn good job doing it. That makes me want to do it better. That makes me want to keep me improved. That makes me want to stay here longer. That's how the work it goes. And then you have a stark contrast. I go from Death Battle, with these people who are nice, who help me. And then I go to the sushi restaurant, and then it's completely different. You get the whistling, you get the people, you get the loud noises, you get the managers who don't actually care about you. They don't care about you, they care about your work. And again, this isn't going for every job. This is going for the job that I currently is, that I realized that they didn't care about me. They care about what I gave them. And if I didn't give them any more, they'd just kick me to the curb and not have to care about their workload. They don't care. They didn't care. I truly believe that. There are one or two managers that do not think that way. But the managers that I received and that I had didn't care. And today, being the day that I quit, I'm making this the day that I quit. This day, there's only been four individuals in particular in my life that ever had the pleasure of reveling in the fact that they managed to break me. Break my spirit. Break my actual just soul in general. Making it so that I couldn't actually take it. I actually had to go off a little bit on my own to calm myself down. 4 people. And now it's 5. That being my manager that was here for that day. Out of all the stuff that I told you, it's a little bit of a recap. Every single day, I am early. Every single day I'm early. There has not been a day throughout these 3 years that I did not show up to work. I always showed up. I'm always there. I'm always doing my job. And I'm always doing the best job that I could possibly manage. Saturdays are the days that the work is the hardest, because you get like mountains and mountains of people, orders upon orders upon orders of going on and on and on. And it's just a pure day of, if you're not doing an order, then it's not Saturday. That's how hectic Saturdays are. Okay. And I'm going at these Saturdays with the best of intentions. And these are the Saturdays where I have to do the 3-hour walk thing. You know, I get there, do my job, do my thing, do everything. And then doing all this other stuff that I told you about throughout the course of these 3 years. This Saturday, I get the 2 managers that I finally realized they don't care. They just did not care. I did my work. I was doing my best. I did my systems to make things faster for orders. And one guy was late. I will repeat this. One guy was late to work. There have been many moments where people do not show up because their car broke down, because they had some family issues, because they had to go somewhere, because they had to do this, because they had to do that. So on a random day, a person who was supposed to be there isn't there. But then you have me. I'm here. I'm doing my best to be here. If my car broke down, I'd find a way to get here. I don't have a car to begin with, and I still get here. Why the fuck can't they? It takes me 3 hours to get here. It can't take them that long, right? But nope. They can't get here. So I'm by myself. On a Saturday, working a station that's manned for 2 people on that Saturday. Here's where all this starts to come crashing down on me. I'm doing my job. I'm doing my best. There's a screen where the orders come on. I'm going to go with like 10 orders of both ramen and a whole bunch of different shit that takes the time to make. At least 3 minutes to 6 minutes to make, tops. 10 orders pop up. Same time. It takes 3 to 4 minutes to count an order as late. And ramen takes 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes to make. So around that time, you get the ramen, you put it in the thing, and it takes you like half a minute to do all the prep stuff, and then you bring out the order, and boom, that's an order that's okay. Let's say 5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes for an order to be late, and it takes at least 3 to 4 minutes to get an order done. There's 10 orders. I'm by myself because another person who's supposed to be there isn't there. I'm by myself. I'm going to repeat this one more time. I'm by myself, doing my best. I have I think like 7 orders done, like in front of me. I'm doing my best to get all the ramen done. I'm doing my best to get this in. I'm doing that, putting in the meat, doing that stuff, brewing the broth. I'm trying to get it as fast as possible. But it's impossible to get 10 orders of ramen and other stuff done in the amount of time it takes for 5 minutes. Why? Because you have a you have the ramen machine, and the ramen machine only does 4 ramen at a time. 4 ramen at a time and 2 udon. 4 ramen. That means I put 4 ramen down. And those take 3 minutes. And since there's 10 orders of ramen, it is literally impossible to get all the ramen in time by yourself. The best thing you can do is get the ramen you can done in the fastest way you possibly can, and then bring those ramen out, and bring those ramen out just so those people have their ramen, and then get the rest as fast as possible. But I can't do that. I don't have the luxury of that because the guy who's supposed to be here, I'm supposed to make the orders, and he's supposed to take out the orders. So if I'm doing both the jobs, it's very hard. You could say it's rather difficult for me to do that. You ready for the kicker? You finally ready for all this fucking buildup that I'm putting up to this? All right. I got all these orders in front of me. The manager comes in, and instead of, helping, taking the orders that I got done so he can get it to the people, instead of doing that, while the 2 people behind me that are doing their job at their station are in the exact same scenario, but instead, unlike me, they got a person doing the orders and a person bringing out the orders. I don't have the luxury. I will repeat one more time. You know what he does? Instead of give me a helping hand, being an actual good manager, he says, "Could you hurry up?" I took those words. Could you hurry up? Could you hurry up? The guy who's always early. The guy who's never late. The guy who always tells you when he needs a day off because some school stuff is happening, some other stuff is happening, some family members are telling me I have to go to a funeral. Who's always on top of that sort of stuff. That guy. The guy who's always here. The guy who never once complained, despite should be complaining about trying to get to this place. The guy who's here, and there's another guy who's supposed to be here, who isn't here. You're telling me to hurry up. Really? I'm going as fast as I can. I have all the orders ready. I just can't bring them out fast enough. I'm sorry, man. And I need to hurry up. Do I also need to mention that my work shoes? Do I also need to bring up that my work shoes look like this? Because I walk here. The soles of my shoes. These are my 3rd pair of shoes that I've had. And not many other people have to go through this because they don't have to walk here. The guy who's always here, who always wants to be here, and does his best to be as fast as possible, needs to hurry up. I'm 3 inches to the finish line right now. And there is another guy who forgot there was a race, and you're telling me to hurry up. I took those words. I didn't say a thing. I didn't slam my hands on the ground. I didn't do anything like that. I didn't slam my hands anywhere. I just had those orders right there, and I walked out. I walked out of the building. I needed some air. I got out of that building. Closed that door. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I didn't scream out the word fuck. I didn't say shit. I didn't punch a wall. I didn't fucking bang my head against anything. I didn't cause any physical harm to myself. And I did that for worse. I simply wanted to do the one thing that always calms me down whenever something like this happens. And that is call my mom. You know how a baby usually almost instantly calms down when you put it into the arms of their mom? Because when they're in the womb, they hear their mother's heartbeat and stuff like that. So when they go back into that, they get this calming sensation because it's what they're familiar with. For me, it's kind of like that, but with my mom's voice. If I hear my mom's voice, I calm down. I feel as though that as long as she's here, I'm okay. Mom's phone wasn't answering because her phone was off. I couldn't hear her voice. I lost it. I put up my phone. I've been out there for only a minute and a half. I pull up my phone, came right back in, got right back to work. And guess what? I've been there a minute and a half, and all those orders, gone. Why? Because the two people behind me, which were basically my friends. You know the girl I told you about, like somewhere in this? She was part of that group, and she took all those orders. All she had to do was put on the lids and go out and take them, and they were gone. You want to know why? Because, you know, that was what was supposed to happen. I got the orders done, and someone takes them out, and so I can get to other orders, and that's how the cycle goes. I was happy she was able to do that for me. And with a minute and a half that I was gone, they thought I just walked out. They just thought that I was that insensitive to just leave everyone on that Saturday. Will I say me walking out without telling anyone was okay? No. Fuck no. It was not alright for me to just leave the building. Even though this isn't a fucking school. This is fucking a job. Hell, do I even need to bring up the fact that this is like 45 to 50 minutes before I have to go, and I still haven't got my 10-minute break yet? Usually a 10-minute break comes in like the mid-roll of your job, so you can have that little bit of a break and then do the rest of the half. Nope, for me, I get my 10-minute break 20 minutes before I have to leave. Man, thanks for that break, guys. It really helped me out there. Man, those last 10 minutes were... I don't think I was going to last very long if I didn't get that 10-minute break. No, fuck you. So anyway, I came back. All those orders were gone. And they thought I left. They just thought I just fucking bounced. They just thought I just left. They thought I was that much of a dickbag. You know, that guy's been coming here for 3 years. The guy's been doing nothing but doing his damnedest to please you assholes for 3 years. For just leave just like that. Leave all these other good guys. I'm gonna be like that guy I told you about that just told you in your face that you were a fucking asshole and left. I was just as bad as that guy. I didn't even have the luxury of telling you were an asshole to your face before walking out. No, I just left because I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to yell. I didn't want to scream. I didn't want people in the front who's eating and enjoying their food to hear my yells at you so they can get like a negative impression on the management staff over here. I wanted to protect you. I wanted to protect you because if there was just a slight chance that a person would hear me say, fuck you, asshole, and then leave and have that person be like, man, this place has poor management. I wanted to avoid that. I wanted to make it sure that if I was going to yell, if I was going to scream, I was going to say something that was going to negatively affect the connotations of your job, I was going to do it in a private manner outside in the back. And I didn't even do that. I just wanted to hear my mom's voice, and I couldn't even do that shit. Okay. You don't want me here, clearly. So I'm going to leave. I went up to him, said, I need my check for this month, because it's the 10th of the month I get my check. My check for this month, and I put him out 2 weeks notice. Other people just fucking leave. They don't even want to stay for the last 2 weeks. So they can actually, manage out people. No, there are people who just straight up leave and don't even care about the other people. Just because I don't like the management staff doesn't mean I hate the other workers. I love the other workers. Even the guy who whistles, because he actually works really fucking hard. See, that's what I mean. The whistling is the only thing that's a problem to me because of that whole childhood thing. Nothing about the character. The character himself works his goddamn ass off. He gets here earlier than me sometimes, and he works his damn ass off as well. Actually, I'll go as far as to say that he's probably the only other person who's been here as long as me. So I like that guy. He's fucking awesome. I like that girl. She's fucking awesome. I like this guy. He's new, but he's doing his damnedest to be. He's fucking awesome. I am not gonna fucking leave all these orders and stuff so they can be understaffed. I'm here. I'm going to stay here until I believe I can't do it anymore. Just like how Yoda said, it's either do or do not. There is no try. So I can't simply say, I tried to stay. No, I can't say, I can't stay. So here's my saying. I did until I couldn't do anymore. That's the best way to put it. There is no try. There is doing until you can't anymore. And that's what happened here. Could I hurry up? Boy, I wish I could. I wish I was the Flash right now. He's the best guy to go for if you want someone to hurry up. Could I hurry up? Really? I'm by myself. I'm by myself doing the damnedest I can, and you want me to hurry up? Hurry up. Never has one simple phrase that has no other like evil intention behind it ever pissed me off so much. Is it petty? Probably is. But you know what? It's my petty. It's mine. It's mine alone. And I'm gonna own it. Really? Out of all things to tell me, instead of saying, need a hand? I got this. Oh, don't worry. Don't even have to say anything. Just take the orders and go and fix them up. Stuff like that. Any of those things would have been like, you know, I think I can stay in here for the rest of the time I'm going to be here until the internship hopefully turns into a job. That sort of thing. And if it doesn't, I still have this to fall back onto. That's sort of shit. That would have kept me around, because that's all you need to do for me. But no, you wanted to open your mouth and tell me how bad I am, apparently, at doing something that I've been doing for 3 years, apparently flawlessly until this point. And you want to know something else? The other manager, supervisor that was there, is a nice little woman, nice woman, all around. She does her best. You can tell that sometimes some things stress her out, but she was like one of those systems that only puts on a nice face just so that she can make it so that I'm doing my job correctly. There are people who call in saying their car broke down, they can't get here, and one day I'm like, oh, I have to get somewhere at 2, and I leave at 3, so that's 1 hour of me not being here. Is it okay? Also, there's gonna be also people here. This is very important. Like, this isn't me being like, oh, I just want to leave early today. No, this is me having to go to something important, and if I don't get there, something bad's probably gonna happen, and I need to get there. Can you please give me this time to go? I don't like doing this as much as the next guy. This is why I barely do it. And instead of saying, oh, okay, no, she gives me an entire rigmarole of how I need to make sure that if something comes up, I need to warn you 2 weeks ahead of time. They told me yesterday. How the fuck am I supposed to tell you 2 weeks ago? But whatever. Fine. Be that way. I don't care. I do, but I'll show that I don't. Because you don't have to care about that sort of stuff about me. So, that happened. And where I was going with it, she also said something that almost got me, as I guess, triggered. I guess the best way to put it at this point. Man, I never thought I'd use that unironically. But she almost said something that got me off. As I was working, there was like 35 minutes left in my shift. I still haven't got my 10-minute break yet. You know, that break you're supposed to have so you keep your mind intact so you can do the rest of the job. You know that thing you're supposed to have in the mid segment? Nope, they want to give it to me like almost 10 minutes before I have to leave, making it so that I just have to stand around with my thumb up my ass for another 10 minutes of a paid 10-minute time doing nothing and then leave, instead of, you know, doing it at another point where it's appropriate. But no, 35 minutes left, and I'm still doing my best. I'm going at this sort of stuff, and now here's how you know they're just fucking assholes. They're just doing it just to piss me off at this point. All right, you have your station, right? Put yourself in the scenario. You're at a station. There's all the things you need. You have bowls. You have lids. You have clips to make sure the bowls don't fucking come apart. You have your celery. You have your meat. You have your stuff. You have everything. In the beginning of the day, this is your ammunition for this Saturday. Get ready, men. The people are coming. Winter is not here, but it's coming. They're coming. Get the fucking shit done. All right, I go in. All right, all my ammo's here. It's almost the end of my shift. Obviously, I'm low on ammunition. I'm low on bowls. I'm low on cap lids. I'm low on all this other stuff. So instead of working on a scarce system, what is the best thing you can do? Granted, again, by myself. I'm the only one here. I mean, I'm the only one thinking about this shit. I have limited resources, and if I continue on these limited resources, I'm gonna bite the bullet when I really need these things. So what do? I grin and bear it and know that sooner or later things are gonna get so hectic that I won't have enough resources to actually get these orders out? Or take a good maybe 7 minutes of my time to go in the back, get more bowls, get more lids, get more whatever I need to make sure that I have the resources necessary to make it so that these orders are done. That's what my scenario is right now. I'm running low on bowls. I'm running low on things that I need to get these orders out. And as soon as I'm trying to get these things, she comes in and says, hey, are you making orders? Boy, howdy, I think I'm making orders. Am I making orders? Yes, I am making orders. As the ramen is currently down in the water, boiling and making itself. Because, you know, ramen takes time to make. And it's not just an instant thing. Yes, I am making orders. I am. I've been making orders for 3 years. I think I'm still doing that. Yes. Yes, I am still making orders. I'm just simply doing my other thing in my job description, and that is fucking doing my job. Making sure that I'm doing it correctly. I'm sorry that just because it looks like I'm getting bowls and stocking myself up for the next coming wave of people that will definitely want orders that is going to need these resources that I need and I'm getting right now. I'm sorry if it looks like I'm not doing my job, but I am. But that's just it. You just have to take my word for it. I'm just some random fuckhole on the internet who talks about his life. Who the fuck cares about me? Huh? Who the fuck cares about my needs? Huh? You're the job. I'm the employee. You're the boss of me. I can't say anything about you because clearly everything you say, everything you do, every decision you make dictates my life and my future. So if I don't apply myself to your standards, you have all the morality in the universe to kick me out because I am no longer of use to you. Even though I've been of use to you for so long without even so much of a pay raise. You know how they say that part of the wage gap or whatever the fuck is going on in our fucking society is because men ask for raises? I'm a guy. I don't ask for a goddamn raise. I guess that makes me a woman, right? No, it just means I'm a person who doesn't care about the actual monetary gain unless it is like dire to his needs. The money that I was making was perfectly fine. I didn't want more money because I didn't believe I needed more money. Isn't that good enough for me to say that I'm here for your job because I find your job to be a good fucking job for me to get to? And the least you could do is say, happy you're still here? No? Yeah, that is a little too much for a guy like me. It is a little too much. Why complain? Like, you're the best job in the universe. You got nothing but 4.5 stars in your restaurant, meaning that you're one of the best areas to go to. Rooster Teeth themselves, the employees there go to your establishment, eat. Man, that shows that you guys are some of the best. I'm lucky to even be there. And now I'm no longer there, at least for another 2 weeks. That's it. So I also just want to let you know that I've been juggling your job with another job that I spend 10 hours of the day doing. You can dictate me being a storyboard artist and stuff all you want. That's still a lot of time that I spend dedicated to a non-paying job to then come to this job and stick around for. I was planning on staying until something good happened, hopefully. But no, you broke me. Congratulations, you did it. You did something 4 other people in my life was able to actually do, and you're the 5th. You've done it. You've done it. Give yourself a round of applause. You broke a boy's spirit. So, allow me to reiterate, Kura Sushi is one of the best goddamn sushi restaurants to go to. People there work hard. They do their best to make sure that the food they're making you is great. They try to make it look as fancy as possible. They try to make it as delicate as possible, because there's always a system of how people make things. There are particular things that people do to make it so that broth is created correctly. There is so much shit being done with fresh fish, freshly cut, stuff like that. People are doing their damnedest. This place is great. And if you get to work there, the first couple of weeks are probably going to be the best things because you're part of a unit. You're part of a team. But after you start to realize that maybe the management staff don't really care about you that much, and the only thing that's keeping you on a thread is your own transportation of how you get there, don't be a guy like me. If there is ever a job that takes you 3.5 hours or so to fucking get to, don't fucking take that job. Don't fucking do it. All right? Unless you're stronger than me, in which it's highly possible. I'm not a physical dude. I'm not all about that physical labor. Dude, I can barely fucking stand up for a full 24 hours. You're looking at me as this beacon of fucking beefcake. No, no. If there's a job that takes you more time than it is to go to sleep, don't fucking do that. I remember back in. I completely forgot to mention there were days where I had like 2 days of work and 3 days of work and 3 days of work back to back, and I get back home. Okay, I wake up at 4 to 5. Wake up at 4 to 5. Go to work. Get back around like 8, 7-ish, and then I go to sleep at like 11. I think 11 or 10:30, sometimes 12. So there were moments where it would have just been more beneficial if I just stayed at my job than doing the commute back home to then just waste another couple of hours to then do the shit all over again. So yeah, if you're ever in that scenario, if you're stronger than me, fucking do it. Yeah, if I can do it, clearly you can. But if you're a guy worried about your like mental stuff, don't take it from me. Don't do it. As for all this, I'm really happy I was able to talk about it at least, because I never really got to really talk about like things that the shit that goes on. Because when you're on YouTube and you're a subscriber of mine or just a random fuck off the street that just saw this boy's video and just like, sure, I got an hour and 45 minutes of my time to waste. Sure, I'll listen to you. You don't really know the person's like background. You don't know what they do in their time. Most of the people who watch my MLP reactions just know me as the guy who comes in every week to watch a new episode, and that's it. Good old daddy-o. Man, your life must be at least fine, I guess. And then I have the comments that say, hey, how's your day is, and those really help. Those really help. Trust me, I've already gone off my praises of how this YouTube channel has benefited me mentally, and stuff like that. But then you have videos like this where I tell you that 3 years of my life was basically torment. And then you have that part of yourself that's like, oh man, yeah, I forgot. Life kind of sucks. So, yeah, I think that pretty much caps off this entire thing of all I have to say. Nothing about that job was necessarily the fault of any system, the fault of like anything, I don't know. Anything too serious, I guess I can put it. It's all of the fault of my own kind of belief in myself to be able to handle it. Because as most of my people on my channel should know, that I am not like 100% mentally stable, as much as I like to believe that I am. And I do my best to keep my self happy with everything I probably can. Listening to my mom's voice, talking to her, talking to my family members in general, talking to you guys, and doing that sort of stuff. And then we get to like the small things that were big for me: the whistling, the yelling, the loud noises in general. I can sit next to a baby crying for like hours. Yet whistling is what set me off. Like that's how that's your comparison, right? And me realizing that the people that I work with don't actually care. At least the higher ups, like they don't care at all. And the people that I work with in general are just really nice people. They deserve like actual praise in keeping me there. There was a manager, like. Here's like the stark difference. I think there is something I can still bring up. Here's like the stark difference between a manager that was awesome and the manager that don't care. The manager that I had during my first year and a half or so being over at that job, he talked to me. He was a friend. In fact, actually, when Wiz and Boomstick showed up to the sushi restaurant and I was able to talk to them, I slightly mentioned them, and he was a fan of Death Battle 2. He liked them too. So then you just have me and this manager being suitably giddy to see these people, to get a picture with them, pose like that, be happy. That's how you know you have a pretty damn good manager, a person who you can look at and see he's like me in certain regards, likes the same things that I do, and we can relate to that. and thus we have this thing together, and that's good. And then you have the manager that I had to deal with when I said I had to 2-week notice. First things first, there was a moment where things were getting so hard that I actually kind of believed that I had to leave. And I went up to him and I said, I don't think I can probably stick around. I want to stay here. I do. I really do. But I really don't think I can. Like, the commute here, school is starting to get harder, stuff like that. I don't think I can. And he said, man, I get it. We really want you here. Being here, you keep me, but I get it. After what you told me, yeah, I couldn't do that. That sort of thing. He was about to let me go. But then another manager, the same manager that I want to tell you about that said that I was a good worker because I just worked, he came in and simply stated, why can't we just give you like 1 day? Just give you 1 day until you get back on your feet. You want to give me 1 day of work? Is that even like, yes, you're that good of a worker. These guys were good at keeping me around because they kept my morale up. But then they left. And you have the managers that only are about corporate, only about the system of how it's supposed to work in a workflow. And then as soon as I said, I need to put in my 2 weeks, he said, okay, and left. Not a single fucking remorse tone in his body. He didn't care. And he's known me probably longer than those other 2 guys. He was the guy that came up to me and with a smile on his face saying, good morning. Nope. He didn't care. And the only people who did care is the people that I worked with, the girl that I told you about, some other guys. They were like, instead of being sad that I was about to go, they were happy I was about to go. Not like, oh man, I really hated you. No, they were happy because they knew how much I hated getting there and just getting shit on. They were happy that I was free, basically. That I could end the suffering of myself. And hopefully, with this internship, it turns into a job. And I wouldn't have to care about that job anymore, ever. The main idea, this entire rant, that's about to go on for a full 2 hours, is that sometimes you just can't read people correctly. Sometimes people just want to use you until you're just worthless. Until we're all replaced by machines, apparently, in work ethics, they're going to treat you like a machine. Until you break. And then they just need to get another one. I never felt so betrayed before in my entire life. And I had friends who literally turned around and beat me up back when I was growing up in middle school and high school. This is why I barely make friends to begin with, because I just feel like they can just turn on me at any moment with no fault of my own, because they have friends that just don't like me for reasons. And I've never felt more betrayed than what happened today. That they didn't care at all about me. 3 years. 3 years doing nothing but wanting to please them, to make sure that I'm doing my job correctly. And it took today for me to see that they just will replace me just like that, because they don't care. But Death Battle right now? Death Battle has shown more moral support to me in the 3-4 weeks I've been there than they've ever done in the 3 years I've been there. I did a few things for fights, and I got nothing but positive feedback, nice critiques to me to improve, and nice conversations, and genuine enjoyment of what I was able to give to them. I'm trying to be as vague as possible because, you know, disclosure agreements, and I can't really say much. All of the, you know, but basically, you get what I'm saying. That jobs and careers never been more different at this point. Walk out for a minute and a half on a job that you've had for 3 years and never had this kind of attitude before, ever, period. They think you left, and they think you're a piece of dog shit that they can just throw on the side of the corner and don't even care if you want to leave for good. Death battle? I literally walk out because I'm hungry. I come back 35 minutes later. I don't fucking care. Why? Because the lunch periods, they're like very flexible. As long as you're doing work, who cares? And I did work. I've earned my keep. And I love what the fuck I'm doing. So, yeah. Those of you working at a job, I do not want you to look at your manager as a person who hates you. Unless you actually have a manager who hates you. That's your own personal thing. If you have a manager like that, do your best to kind of power through it. Because I had my fair share of managers that just hated me, and I didn't like them. And I had my fair share of managers who liked me, and I really liked them. And they left. It's always the ones that you like. It's always the ones you like. And it's so weird. It's always the ones you like, and it's always the ones you hate that actually finally break you. It's how life works. I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you any of this to be like, oh man, jobs will never respect you. Jobs will never be good in a career. No, I'm telling you this as a personal story that exists in this reality that I went through and that I am no longer a part of. That job is going to be nothing but a distant memory in the next 2 weeks. I did my 2 weeks notice because I care about my fucking coworkers and I actually want them to have a person be there by their side that wasn't by my side when that Saturday kicked in. As long as possible. That's it. So, if you've lasted this long, if you've been listening to this, thank you. Thank you. Like, you actually showed more fucking will to listen to me than my manager ever had. So, awesome. Fucking love you. And in the end, I have to say, if it wasn't for me getting that job, I probably would not be here right now. That job has helped me financially in so many ways, it hurts. YouTube was not cutting it, and I could not last with my mom's nickel and diming me the best way she could, because she has her own fucking bills to pay and stuff like that, so you don't need a guy like me to leech off of her and shit like that. There'd be moments where I wanted to pay my own rent and shit like that and stuff, and I wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for the job. So out of all things, I'm really happy I was able to get it. Really happy I stayed there as long as I could to get the money that I needed to survive, mostly. And yeah. So these last few checks, the check that I got today and the check that I'm gonna get from the 2 weeks notice, and the other check that they hold, I believe, I should be getting at least three more checks. So hopefully that'll be enough to hopefully keep me around long enough. Because again, not sure if this whole death battle thing is gonna be 100%. Couldn't be, you know, could just be kicking me right out as soon as I'm done with the internship. I'm just doing my job, and I'm doing my internship job and just going on in. But you know, hopes are abound. Stuff like that. I'll find a way to sustain myself. Stuff like that. And yes, I think that's about it. So yeah. Thank you again for sticking around. Yeah. This is Do You Want to Be a Universe? I've poured my everything, not just my heart and soul, into this, and I really hope that this doesn't sound like I'm whining. It's just complaints. It's just complaints that I had, and know that this weight that I had on my shoulders is finally off. And I really wish I could like use it beneficially to the channel, but I can't, because I'm gonna use all this time I'm about to use all the added time to do schoolwork and Death Battle stuff. Because those are the two things. One thing's important. That's being a school thing. And Death Battle's just fun. I love being there. So, yeah. Let's end this off at the 2-hour mark. Huh? Let's just end it off in a 2-hour mark. So, put down in the comment section, how good was your day? Did you ever have a job that really you hated? Has it been? No? Alright. Just me then. I know it's not just me. That's why Agretzko's so fucking popular. That little red panda is so relatable.